I'm Hpwie Kurtz, and this is Reliable Sources. This show has always been about turning a critical lens on the media. This time, the media mistake was mine. A big mistake, more than one, in fact. Here's what happened. Here is why I did what I did and why it was clearly wrongly handled by me. On Monday, I read the Sports Illustrated article by Jason Collins, the first pro-male team athlete to come out publicly as gay. I read it too fast and carelessly missed that Jason Collins said he was engaged previously to a woman, and then wrote and commented that he was wrong to keep that from readers when, in fact, I was the one who was wrong. My logic about what happened between Jason Collins and his former fiancée and what was or wasn't disclosed, in hindsight, well, I was wrong even to raise that. And it showed a lack of sensitivity to the issue. Also, I didn't give him a chance to respond to my account before I wrote it. And in addition, my first correction to the story was not as complete and as full as it should have been. In a video where I discussed the issue, I wrongly, jokingly referred to something that shouldn't have been joked about. For all those reasons, I apologize to readers, to viewers, most importantly, to Jason Collins and to his ex-fiancée. I hope that this very candid response may earn back your trust over time. It is something that I am committed to doing. In that regard, CNN has invited two media critics to turn the tables and ask me the critical questions this morning. They are Byers, media reporter for Politico, and David Folkenflik, media correspondent for NPR News.
Hi. Well, Howie, this is certainly an extraordinary situation for an unusual week for yourself in particular. Obviously, you all have a number of roles. You wrote this about Jason Collins in your role as the Washington bureau chief and media critic for the Daily Beast and Newsweek Online. To be clear from your forthright apology now, as you now acknowledge, you didn't fully and adequately read the article that Jason Collins wrote in Sports Illustrated. It does not sound like you fully watched or understood, if you did, the interview that George Stephanopoulos conducted on ABC News with Collins the next day. So you're a reporter in this case who didn't bother reporting the story out, I think, by your account, what we've heard this morning.
I watched part of the George Stephanopoulos interview. I didn't see that particular part, but look, the mistake that I made was sloppy and inexcusable. I'm not going to offer any extenuating circumstances. I screwed up. And here's the broader point, and you've kind of touched on it right here, David. Because I have been a media critic for 2 decades, I should be held to a higher standard. Because I am the host of this program, I should be held to a higher standard. I deserve the criticism, I accept it, and I'm determined to learn from this episode.
Sure. Let's just unpack a little bit of that, though. In so doing, when you were confronted with information that you were wrong, initially, you didn't really fully apologize. You sent out a tweet in which you ripped him anew. You said Collins didn't tell the whole story. You're being very honest with us now, Howie. Why didn't you have the decency to apologize to him at that time when you knew that what you had written was wrong?
What was I thinking? I wasn't thinking very clearly. Because he had played down the part about his former fiancée, and she'd been making the television rounds. I thought this was an interesting fact to comment on. But I somehow convinced myself, I guess I handled it wrong. I convinced myself that I could soften the wording and partially apologize. That was wrong. I should have retracted it immediately. I acknowledged that was wrong.
And yet your initial mistake went beyond just a factual error. I mean, in this video that you did for the website, The Daily Download, you also mocked him. You said he had been played both sides of the court. Why did you feel the need to mock him, especially after he had just come out to the world as the first pro-gay male athlete?
That is the important point. I shouldn't have done that. My tone was completely inappropriate. What Jason Collins did was a difficult step and a courageous one. In fact, when an ESPN reporter criticized him, saying that he shouldn't be considered a Christian and that he was living a homosexual lifestyle, I found that offensive and I publicly criticized it. It is his story to tell, and I shouldn't have taken it lightly, and I shouldn't even have gone down the road of questioning why he chose to emphasize or not emphasize certain things. Right.